Here in northern Arizona, the wind doesn't just blow. It scours. It carries the dust of 200 million years, whistling through the fractured badlands of the Petrified Forest. To the new visitor, this is the painted, desertous, stunning canvas of red, purple, and gray. But if you truly listen, the silence here is deafeningly loud. It speaks of a time when this arid wasteland was a lush, tropical paradise, teeming with life that would defy our modern imagination. We're standing at the edge of the Blue Mesa, looking down into a valley scattered with what look like broken logs. They have the texture, the splinters, the growth rings of wood. But if you touch them, they're as cold and hard as stone. These are the stone trees, the immortal remnants of a lost world. Our journey today isn't just about distance, it's about time. To understand the whispers of this forest, we have to peel back the layers of geologic time, sinking deep into the Late Triassic period, right at the dawn of the dinosaurs. Let's travel back 225 million years. The supercontinent, Pangaea, stretches from pole to pole. Arizona isn't a desert, it's near the equator, a steaming basin crisscrossed by massive, sluggish rivers. Now, imagine the giants of this era. Colossal conifers towering nearly 200 feet into the misty air. This forest wasn't quiet. The air buzzed with giant dragonflies and insects the size of hawks. Through the tangled green undergrowth stalked the Phytosaurs, a terrifying apex predator. It was a distant cousin of the crocodile, but it walked upright on land, its jaws filled with serrated teeth. In the rivers, Phytosaurs lurked. They looked like modern crocodiles, but with their nostrils placed high on their heads, near their eyes, so they could breathe while submerged, waiting for a thirsty, tusked creature called a placarius to get too close. This world was a cycle of violent life and sudden death, but the trees witnessed it all, growing ring by ring, recording the seasons of monsoons and droughts. They were the biological hard drives of the Triassic. The end of this ancient forest came not with fire, but with water and ash. Volcanoes to the west and south erupted, spewing ash that fell like gray snow, choking the streams. Then the floods came. Torrential rains surged through the river valleys, undercutting the banks where the giant trees stood. With groans that must have shaken the earth, thousands of them toppled, swept downstream in a massive log. Their branches and bark were stripped away by the violent currents. Eventually, the river slowed, and the logs settled into deep mud and sediment. This was the critical moment. Normally, a fallen tree rots, but these trees were buried deep and fast, sealed off from oxygen by layers of mud, sand, and volcanic ash. The decay process stopped. They lay in their watery tombs, dead but perfectly preserved, waiting for the alchemy of geology to begin. That transformation from wood to stone is a miracle of chemistry called permineralization. Groundwater, rich in dissolved silica from the volcanic ash, seeped through the buried logs. This mineral-laden water saturated every cell and every microscopic structure of the trees. Over thousands, even millions of years, the silica precipitated out of the water. Atom by atom, the organic wood was replaced by quartz. The process didn't just replace the wood, it recorded its exact structure. If the water contained iron, the stone turned red, orange, and yellow. Manganese turned it black or blue. The logs were no longer wood. They had become agate, jasper, and amethyst gemstone masterpieces that still held the texture of bark and the rings of growth. While the trees were crystallizing, the world above changed. The Triassic gave way to the Jurassic. Dinosaurs rose and fell. Mammals appeared. Continents shifted. All the while, the stone logs lay buried under miles of sediment, hardening, waiting. Around 60 million years ago, the Colorado Plateau began to rise, pushing the buried rock layers thousands of feet upward. With the uplift came erosion. Wind and water, the patient sculptors of this landscape, began to carve away the softer sedimentary rocks. As the soft earth washed away, the harder, heavier fossils were exposed. The stone logs, brittle from their crystal structure and fractured by the stress of the earth's movement, emerged from the eroding hillsides. They rolled down the slopes, breaking into the clean segments we see today. This process is still happening. Every time it rains here, a little more dirt washes away, and a new fossil, unseen for 200 million years, sees the sunlight for the first time. Of course, humans eventually found this place. The first people arrived over 13,000 years ago. They saw the glittering, razor-sharp shards of petrified wood, not as curiosities, but as vital survival tools. The crystallized wood flakes like flint, so they napped it into spear points, scrapers, and knives. Imagine a hunter bringing down a bison with a spear tipped with wood that grew when the first dinosaurs walked the earth. Later, the ancestral Puebloan people built a civilization here. You can still see the agate house, a dwelling constructed entirely of petrified wood blocks. They lived among the ghosts of the ancient forests and left behind petroglyph symbols etched into the sandstone boulders. They understood, perhaps better than we do, that this land is sacred. In the late 19th century, the scientific world arrived, and at first, it was plunder. Tourists would blast the logs with dynamite to hunt for amethysts or haul away tons of wood. The forest was bleeding. Thankfully, conservationists fought back, and President Theodore Roosevelt declared the area a national monument in 1906. Today, as a national park, it's a protected laboratory. Paleontologists continue to make startling discoveries, not Hustwood, but the fossilized teeth of Phytosaurs, the armor plates of Etched, and the delicate bones of early dinosaurs. By studying the chemistry of the rocks and ancient soils, scientists are reconstructing the climate of the Triassic, learning how high CO2 levels affected life back then. These stones offer chilling parallels and warnings for a modern climate crisis. The stones are not just history, they are prophecy. As the sun sets over the painted desert, the colors glow with an ethereal fire. The petrified logs cast long, jagged shadows, like the fallen columns of a ruined temple. When you hold a small shard of this wood, which you must put back, because taking it is stealing from time itself, you hold an incredible story. You hold the sunlight of the Triassic, the volcanic fury, the slow magic of silica, and the memory of a hunter's tool. The Petrified Forest is more than a collection of rocks. It's a testament to the fact that worlds have ended before. The lush forest is gone. The mighty Phytosaurs are gone. Yet, nothing is truly lost. It's just transformed. The wood becomes stone. The bone becomes fossil. The story becomes history. As we leave, the wind picks up again, carrying the dust, and the whispers continue. They tell us that we, too, are part of this cycle. One day, our cities and our stories will become strata in the rock, waiting for a future intelligence to find them and wonder about our lost world. Until then, the stone trees stand guard, the silent sentinels of deep time. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. If you found this as fascinating as we do, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories etched in stone.